Hi all, it's Barb coming to you from my craft studio. I had told the people in the Get Organized Challenge that I would try to do a video about how I decided to organize my stamps. These are my unmounted stamps. We'll start with those. I decided to put them in my scrap rack. This happens to be my card making section because I thought most of these with sentiments, phrases, I would use on cards of some sort. I did cross-reference them into other categories where I felt appropriate. And what I tried to do was mark the back of the card set. This and Christmas are probably my two biggest themes. Most of my stamps fall into these two categories. I still need to do my Sweet Stamp Shop stamps, but those ones, I probably have as many of those as I do all my other stamps combined. And I keep those on my planner cart because it's mainly where I will use them. I was trying to see if I had one that had more than one category. Like this one here, this little Thinking of You stamp. I figured I would mainly use it on cards. I have cross-referenced it under WOW, which means words of wonder or words of wisdom. You can take your pick. I put any non-themed words there that I could maybe use in multiple places. Now, Merry Christmas, I wouldn't cross-reference there, but other words I would cross-reference there. And I put it under garden and flowers. Garden and flowers for me is kind of a category that's more for cataloging than anything. Because if I think, oh, I'd like to use a flower on this, I want to be able to see what flowers I can create with stamps or punches or dies or whatever. So that's what I've been doing. And I mainly been putting it on the back here so that if I pull this from my inventory, I know where I have to pull the representations. I ended up just photocopying them. I labeled where I placed it on the front so that in my WOW section and my garden sections there will be a copy of this, and it'll show the cards on the front, so I know, okay, if I want to use that stamp, it's in my card section. And Tiffany recommends numbering them in if you're going to put them in a system like this, but I figured they'd be easy enough for me to find without doing that because I can kind of tell how big this is, so I can kind of tell what size page I would probably have it in. And these go in page order, so like this one has 12 pockets on it, so that's the highest, and the next one has 9 there, so it goes from the most number of pockets on a page down to the lowest. So I kind of have an idea of where to find it anyways. So that's all I did. I figured that will make it easier if I someday decide I don't want that stamp set anymore, or I don't want this stamp set anymore. I can just look on the back, see where else I cross-referenced it, and go and pull those out of the system. That's what I decided to do with my unmounted stamps, was put them into my scrap rack system. I had them in a basket, just numbered. I didn't care for it, and part of that probably was my catalog wasn't in the best shape. Catalog, I think, will make all the difference for you. So that's how I did my unmounted stamps. My mounted stamps, I decided to store in, for the most part, it's the Totally Tiffany Stamp and Store double-sided bags that I went with. I'm going to have a few that are just one single-sided bag, but most of them are double-sided. I put washi that matched my theme. Now, Tiffany doesn't recommend doing them by theme. She recommends just putting them in and numbering them. But especially for my seasonal stamps, what I tend to do is create a cart at Christmas that has all of my Christmas supplies on it, and I create from that. So this made more sense for how I craft, which is one thing she stresses too, is tailor things to how you create. So keep things together that you use together. So that's what I did here. And I numbered each tray. Like this one, I used a little tree symbol for Christmas, and it says 1. This one has the tree and 2. This one here does. It's just at the other end. I need to number both sides. That's something I want to go in and do. I didn't even think about it until after the fact. When I realized I had them on opposite ends, I decided I better number both sides. So then what I did, I happen to have number 2 here. I actually put them in a single-sided bag I had so that I could put that in upside down and you wouldn't have this. I would just have the back side of the bag. And I just photocopied it. There is a photocopy of this. This one does not show very well, but underneath all these stamps. So when I pull a stamp out, I can see what came out of there. What I mean doing is numbering each corner on the bag for all 4, but that way, if I pull out this one to use it, when I go to put it back, if they've shifted, I can tell right where it went. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to do something similar to how I did there. I made copies so that I can put them in different themes. And I think what I'm going to do is, I did an extra copy. I think this is it. So I can mark where else I want to put those besides Christmas. Like this one I know I want to put in the postal theme because it has that, and I sometimes do postal themed projects. So that's what I'm going to do, is just label where else I put that. And I think I'm going to end up putting it on the bottom of the tray so that if I say, oh, I no longer want this stamp, and I pull it out, I would know where else I put it. In a lot of the case of the Christmas stamps, they're not going a whole lot of other places. But I just wanted a simple way so that if I pulled something out of my inventory, I knew where else it was cataloged without having to think, okay, let's see, where else could I have put this? Because some days my focus is not all there due to my illness, so that was just easier for me. But anyways, that's what I'm doing. I do need to get a few more trays so that I can finish my stamp set, and then they will just go on into a Kallax cube. And I still need to get that, my unmounted stamps. I've already got all the representations in my catalog. I haven't finished that with my, I've just been going through and numbering them, which you can see here. I numbered each stamp in there with the tree and the 2. So, and that's all I did, was I just numbered them by the tray they're in, because I figured it's easy enough once I pull that tray to find that particular stamp. So this just tells me, and my copy will have that on there too, so that if I put it someplace else, you know, like this one's going to go in wow, because it has the joy there. I'm debating whether to add it to shapes, because I probably could mask that out and not have the joy there, and I could put something else in the side, in the middle. But if I put that in wow, my representation will tell me, okay, I'll find that stamp in my Christmas tray number 2. So that's kind of how I decided to do my wood-mounted stamps. I'm really focusing on tools this round of the Get Organized Challenge. I'm hoping to get, I'd like to say all of it, but I have a better shot now since I got those binders for my embossing folders, but I don't have my die storage at all yet, and I don't have enough punch storage. I know I need several more of the 2-inch punch bags in order to finish that. Sorry about that coughing fit. But I figured I would try to come on each week of the challenge and show you what I was working on and how I'm using Tiffany's system in my craft room to store my different items. I haven't been happy with some of my storage. Wood-mounted stamps, I decided quite a while ago to move to these, so I've gotten most of the bags because I've been picking one up here and there. The unmounted stamps, I struggled with how to do that. I had a few ideas in mind, and then I just decided to go with this one. Embossing folders, I kind of knew what I wanted. It was budget. Dies, I kind of know what I want. It's budget. And punches, I know what I'd really like, and that's way out of budget, so I'm going to an alternative plan. But it's between budget and space. My punches, how I had them stored right now, they just weren't accessible. They were hard to get to. I had them cataloged, so yeah, I knew where they were, but getting to them was kind of a pain. So I tended to just say, I'll use something else. So I'm really hoping to use them more like this. And if I find I'm not, they may just end up being eliminated from my stash. I did create a big benefit board for the Get Organized Challenge this time. This is what I decided to do. I got my We Are Memory Keepers pocket punch board out, and I made a pocket for each week. I used my Totally Tiffany Get Organized Challenge stickers on each week. Now, I'm probably not, well, I know I'm not following along because I'm mainly going to do tools. So I did a card inside. It says week 1 goal, unmounted stamps. And my reward was supposed to be stamp bags, but I'm probably going to use some of the Tiffany stuff that I bought at Joann as rewards. But I am still thinking about picking up a couple stamp bags at Hobby Lobby this weekend. I think I'm going to buy one with a coupon and give hubby a coupon and have him buy another one if they have 2 in stock. So I think that will still stay my reward for week 1. And I still have to write in what each of the other 2 week was. I was kind of thinking my reward, like my reward for week 1 is what I was going to work on in what I'll work on in week 2. I'm thinking about doing that for week 2. Whatever I plan on working on week 3 is going to be my reward, storage for it. And then I just have a little dial that I can turn to whatever week that I want. I used my Crop-A-Dial on this, and I think it's called a grommet. I could be wrong on that. And a brad, and I just used a little sticker I had from a Happy Planner thing. I put it on cardstock and trimmed it out so that it's kind of like a clock, but it only has one hand because I only need to point it to one item. So that's kind of, I just thought I would share my big benefit board. And my big benefit is to keep my studio my happy place. This is where I come. Sometimes, even if I'm really not up to crafting, I come and spend some time in here and try to do a little bit, just because I know it can help me forget that I'm in pain or how tired I am or, whatever symptom is at the height that day. It can kind of just help me put that out of my mind and focus on something else for a while. But anyways, that's all I've got to share. Thanks for joining me. I'll catch you next time.